Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I'd like to share with you why I like Hermes as a guy. And for those who don't know, Hermes primarily makes handbags for ladies. So Hermes is known for two bags, and one of them is known as the Birkin. So this was introduced in 1984 and was named after a singer called Jane Birkin. So just by coincidence, she happened to sit next to the Hermes CEO back then, Dumas, on the plane, and she complained about how nowadays leather bags for females, they are not functional. So then this Dumas immediately capitalized on it and sketched out a design on a vomit bag, and thus the bag was named after her. So this bag is generally rectangular in shape, and then it has a lock and key mechanism. So inside, in order to be functional, it's very spacious, and each takes about 18 hours for one artisan to craft. So the next bag that is very popular is known as the Kelly. So this was designed in 1930s as a trapezoidal shaped bag. And this got famous when an actress, Grace Kelly, used it to shield her pregnancy from paparazzis. So then in 1977, Hermes renamed the Kelly in her honor. So similar to the Birkin, this one is also a 4 metal feet to protect the base, and then it takes slightly longer to craft, so about 18 to 25 hours. So now come to the financial performance of the company Hermes. This is a company that has absolutely destroyed the S&P in terms of its returns. If you compare their returns, it has returned almost 39 times the S&P index. So for example, if you bought 1K in 1993, you have returned 408 times your money, which is 408K. So another very big luxury company is known as LVMH, and this is owned by Bernard Arnault. And he even tried to take over Hermes once, but was blocked by the founding family, where they all came together and put their shares and locked it up. So when I first discussed Hermes, I started with the history, and that's because it is deep with history. This cannot be replaced by overnight successes. Secondly, it's non-affordable luxury. So if you may not know, you can't just walk into a Hermes store and buy a bag. You have to build up a history and a reputation with the sales assistant before they even allow you to buy a bag. So this is unlike LV in the sense where anyone can just walk in and get a bag. You go to the MRT, you go to a supermarket, you can see LV anywhere. So next about Hermes is the pricing power. So the people buying Hermes are not me and you, or mum and pops. These are actually very wealthy people who are generally not affected by layoffs or economic downturns. And therefore, even when the economy is not doing well, Hermes business is still doing well. So Hermes doesn't outsource its production as well. So recently in times on TikTok, there have been videos showing how a lot of the luxury brands are made in China, and then it's just shipped back to France or Italy, and then they do the last stitching there. Hermes doesn't do that. So as I mentioned previously, one artisan, one bag. And of course, the quality and the craftsmanship, each bag by a single artisan with the finest leather and materials. So one day, if you ever happen to buy the bag, I will urge you, don't forget to buy the stock too. And remember, buying a stock is equivalent to being the owner of a business. So a business like Hermes, with such a strong economic moat, pricing power, customer loyalty, it is pretty rare to come by. However, because of its quality, its valuations have traditionally been steep and therefore very expensive to own. Thank you very much for your time.